Ya estoy con ustedes.
Em, ¿Listo? ¿Será que esperaremos algunos minutos a personas que se puedan conectar?
Si puedes proyectar así como la imagen, algo así del evento, de la actividad, o tal vez un video introductorio, no sé. Un video también estaría chévere, una
Pero no
presentación.
está en el programa. No, o sea,
Hola, Antonieta.
hola, Dubán.
Buenos días a todos.
Juan, ¿cómo estás?
Hola,
¿Cómo
Carlos.
vamos?
Bueno, vamos a ver, ¿no? Vamos a ver qué tal. Es un gusto verlos. Qué bien, ya hay un equipo conectado. Y bueno, ¿no? ¿En qué estaban haciendo?
Pues platicando de cómo están los tiempos, o sea, que igual ponemos tiempos de, o sea, como marcados, ¿no? O sea, de los 5 primeros minutos y así en la segmentación. ¿Quieres que te ayude en esto? O
Bueno,
así.
yo pienso que sería bueno saber si, digamos, de la agenda de trabajo, si estamos todos, como un poco hacer el checklist, si me ayudan, mientras yo atiendo aquí unos mensajes de WhatsApp.
Doctor Nausing.
La idea es que estemos la mayoría al menos para comenzar.
Carlos, si está. La profesora Lina. Sí.
Señora.
Bueno. Mucho gusto, Lina. Y
Buenos días.
Buenos días. Bien,
Buenos
bien.
días.
No sé si las personas que la interpretación ya está en marcha y hay ya un canal en inglés y quien es angloparlante ya está usando directamente tiene acceso a ese canal. Podemos asegurar eso. I wonder if the people in English who is in the room is already using the simultaneous translation service that we provide. In this, if anybody is not in the simultaneous translation, it's time to set that everything in order to, when we start, we want to make sure that everybody is online and following the conversation.
Okay, great. So I will be speaking in English.
Great. Nice to see you, Professor Nauchin.
Good to see you too, Devan.
Yo le preguntaría a Pedronel si está en la sala, pues saludarlo. Muy buenos días, Pedronel, y asegurarse que el canal en inglés está funcionando.
Hola, buenos días. Sí, aquí estoy. Ya está el intérprete, ya está habilitada la interpretación simultánea. Ahí abajo a la derecha encuentran un globo terráqueo que dice interpretación. Ahí pueden escoger el canal.
¿Tú podrías?
Cuéntame.
¿Tú podrías como dar estas instrucciones simples en inglés para quien desee usar esa opción? Por favor.
Sí, permíteme, paso a... Well, thanks. We have a interpretation system, so you can click on the globe icon that says interpretation. In the bottom left, you can choose your language to be able to hear the interpretation.
Quiero asegurarme también si Sonia podría compartir pantalla y estar seguros de que el video, las condiciones de la función de compartir pantalla está habilitada y podemos escuchar el audio en directo. Podríamos hacer una prueba, Sonia, si estás en la sala. Buenos días.
Hola. Vale, listo, espera. Un segundito. Vale, ahí está.
No.
No.
A ver. Vale, es que hay un problema con el tema de la grabación. Entonces, un segundo. Creo que se me desconecta, creo que es que se me ha ido a configuración.
Dubán, una
Hola.
pregunta. Hola,
Hola,
yo
Angélica.
estoy, o está conmigo Ever García Arias, que es representante legal de la Asamblea Campesina del Cesar. Está aquí conmigo, pues él va a tratar de ponerse en acceso a través del celular, pero
Sí.
veíamos que a la hora de hablar pudiese hablar por aquí, que le resulta mucho mejor.
Claro. Bueno, si ustedes están allí perfectamente, claro, podemos usar ese canal.
Dale, era para preguntarte, pues si hay alguna dificultad, pues porque igual se va a conectar por el
No.
celular.
Déjenme un minuto que alguien de los panelistas me está llamando al WhatsApp. Voy a contestarle para seguramente.
Yeah, well, some the panelists, some of them, you know, is asking a question. I'm just trying. I'm going to try to answer. I'm going to share the video, and
Creo que ahora sí.
Sí, ahora sí.
yeah, now it's working very well.
Juan, ¿quiere que la ponga ahora o la pongo después? El vídeo es un.
You want me to play it right now or later?
Yo no sé, tampoco.
Bueno, pues voy a hacer una prueba para el audio, ¿vale?
Vale.
Ok.
I'm going to
Sí.
test the audio right now.
Listo. Bueno, pues esperamos a ver el Juan que dice. Y dejo de compartir. Gracias.
Yeah, I'm going to stop sharing your screen, Duan, please. Thank you very much. Please, Antonieta, can you help me with the verification?
De acuerdo con el orden del día, como saber que estamos todos en línea.
Please, I just want to make sure we are all online. We are talking to Professor Lina and William Gaviria as well.
No, señora. No se encuentra. No, señora.
William Gaviria is not here.
Jenny Huitrago.
Danny Witrago, are you there?
No. Tal vez no está Jenny, ¿no?
Jenny is not here.
Jenny es la que estoy intentando. ¿Tiene algún problema con él?
I'm just trying to contact Jenny. Julián Figueroa, are you there?
¿Está Julián?
Le voy a escribir para saber.
Vale.
I'm just gonna try to reach Julian. I'm gonna write it to him and see if he's available or not. Juan David.
Gendis.
Hendis.
Guzmán.
Endis, buenos días. Endis no va a poder participar, pero
And this is
yo
not going to be here, but I'm going to represent the era movement.
Ok, perfecto. Miguel Zambrano.
Miguel Zambrano, you here?
Tampoco, ¿no? Bueno, más bien no. Alejandra López.
Alejandra López.
Aquí está, ¿no? Alejandra Serna, ¿será? Tal vez.
no, yo soy la del movimiento de la era, Cicerna. Puede ser que se equivocaron con
Yeah,
el
maybe there's a misspelling in my last name. Alejandra Serna is my name. Michael.
Muy bien. Bertilda Salas.
Bertilda Salas, you there?
No, no.
¿Bertilda no está?
No. ¿Sí?
Pues nada, pues la estoy contactando también.
I'm just trying to contact her.
Angélica Arias.
Angelica Arias, you there?
Ah, sí, gracias, gracias.
Thank you very much. I'm just right here.
Marta Ochoa.
Marta Ochoa.
Me dijo que se conectaba en 10 minutos.
Vale, y Alfredo Manrique.
Ya estoy acá.
Alfredo Manrique, you there?
Ah, muy bien.
Bueno, buenos días.
Días, tardes.
Saludarlos, Alfredo Manrique de ONU Habitat.
Alfredo Manrique from Home Habitat. It's a pleasure being here with you.
Ah, qué bien.
Arabella Fraser.
Arabella Fraser.
Sí, estoy.
Sí, ¿no? Yo por aquí veo.
Sí, estoy.
Hola.
Gracias, Julieta. Hola.
Gracias. Pues bueno, yo creo que de la primera parte.
Comenzamos, ¿cierto?
Sí, sí, estamos completos. Entonces, igual vamos a podernos dar tiempo, ¿no? Para que se conecten.
Yeah, I'm going to give you some time so that you can, log yourselves in.
Pues nos iremos intentando facilitar la conexión de quien falte.
So I'm just trying to connect myself, and then I'm going to check if a lot of people are connected. Well, good morning. You're very welcome. I'm Duan Lopez. I'm just saying hello from you, Guapi, from in Colombia. In a project regarding the capacities and strength regarding emergencies. I'm a consultant. I'm a consultant here, and by chance, this has crossed its way with the commitment and with this forum. I hope people here are not always doing very well, but I just hope I'm going to be helping you, Antonieta. Peregrina is here, and she's going to be here in case there's some accompaniment needed in this dialogue. Thank you very much. People, all my folks that have given us, the space, the time to be here with you, to share with you in the name of Regnet. It's a recycling company. It's a very important organization that's talk about thematic urban commitment and behaviors, and also University of Manizales, that through this university, this resource is being implemented. I'm talking about conversation around those themes. It's about environmental peace and resilience and fragility from our experiences. Thank you very much for being here in this space. I'm going to give the word, the climatic change of violence, urban violence, Karachi in Pakistan is going to give us the first talk.
Great. Thank you so much, Duvan,
Muchas,
for inviting me to this important event that you have organized along with your colleagues. I congratulate you in this excellent endeavor that brings together such a strong representation of researchers and practitioners who will share ideas to find pathways to surmount conflicts in Colombian cities. Over the past 2 years, the diverse members of the Climate Change and Urban Violence Global Engagement Network that has brought together colleagues from South America, Sub-Saharan Africa, South Asia, and the UK, all of them have been connecting online through various kinds of events such as seminars and roundtables to promote new understandings and learnings about the interactions between climate change and urban violence in the global south, with a very specific focus on non-conflict violence. This network is a pioneering initiative in examining the interface between urban violence and climate change research and practice. The Climate Change and Urban Violence Global Engagement Network, or what we call CCUVN for short, has been funded by the United Kingdom's Global Challenges Research Fund. And it is a 2-year project that started in 2019. This event, organized by Duvan and his colleagues today, is the last in a series of online interdisciplinary workshops, seminars, and roundtable activities that we have held very successfully over the past 2 years. I have had the privilege of leading the CCUVN along with my wonderful colleague, Dr. Arabella Fraser, who is a development geographer at the Open University in London in the United Kingdom. And just to very quickly highlight that there have been 3 key objectives of this network. And these objectives have been based on generating interdisciplinary and cross-regional knowledge about the linkages between climate change and urban violence. These 3 key objectives also include how to support practitioner learning about local level innovative and participatory interventions to reduce risks in violence in climate change affected urban contexts, as well as to raise the policy profile of the importance of considering urban violence, climate linkages.
One second, Dr. Naushin,
yes.
please.
Yes, Duvan.
One second, please. Sorry for interrupt you because not everybody is, quiero decir, no todo el mundo está usando la función de traducción en línea. Las personas que hablan en castellano deben acceder.
People that speak Spanish, please, Nell, tell me how to understand what's happening here. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds so that people will understand and how to use the languages. You have to make sure that in Zoom there's a kind of globe you see in the bottom of the screen. You click it and you choose the language you want to use. You want to hear the conference, and if you speak English, is there someone that didn't listen to interpretation in Spanish?
Perfecto, Bertil, puedes en la ventana de Zoom en la parte inferior derecha encuentras un globo terráqueo.
In the bottom part of the screen, there's a globe. You are going to click it and you choose the different languages. So.
Perdón, de verdad, estas son las configuraciones.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No logramos encontrar el globo.
Ya. A ver, hay que abrir toda la ventana de Zoom en pantalla completa, puede ser, y en la parte inferior hay una franja de iconos. Hay una franja de iconos, uno de ellos es levantar la mano, otro es preguntas y respuestas. Bertila, ¿ya lo pudiste hacer?
No, señor, no encuentro la opción.
A ver, voy a compartir
I
pantalla.
cannot find the you know, the language thing.
Curiosamente al compartir pantalla no veo. Pero bueno, aquí hay una opción donde están estos puntos dice español.
Duban, no está compartida la pantalla de Zoom, está otra.
Es que
Está viendo WhatsApp.
ya, es muy difícil, sí.
Ahí
Sí,
yo
no
abro
me
la ventana y sale donde dice unos números telefónicos, dice lo ambiental, pero no sale la parte de que nos dé la opción para...
There's we cannot activate the Spanish icon.
¿Cómo hacemos?
Voy a intentar compartir, ¿vale?
Sí.
Hola, a ver. Ay, ahora Zoom.
Yo lo hice por el celular y me dio como la opción.
Ay, no me deja ahora. Ah, claro, ahora no me deja.
Sí, es que al momento,
pantalla.
al momento de compartirse se modifica la distribución de las ventanas de Zoom.
Pero
sí, por favor, Bertila, ¿tú puedes intentar compartir pantalla? Esa opción la puedes hacer. Angélica, ¿ya la has resuelto? Perfecto. Bertilda.
Creo que hay que ponerle español y mutear el audio original.
No hace falta el original. Con solo poner español ya salta. Bueno, claro, por esto era que teníamos que...
Dubán, y si le compartes vía WhatsApp un pantallazo, un screenshot y le señalas dónde está a Bertilda.
Voy a intentarlo, Bertilda, ¿tú te estás comunicando a través de teléfono o a través de un computador?
No, desde el teléfono, porque el computador de acá de donde trabajo no me sirve para escuchar audio, entonces estoy desde el teléfono. Yo siempre he participado así desde el teléfono, pero ahorita no me da, comparto pantalla, pero no me sale una opción para...
Ah, qué cosa.
Vale, bueno, se me ocurre, no sé si qué te parezca, Dubán, si podamos darle seguimiento a esa parte, como para...
No se te escucha el audio, Antonieta.
¿No? ¿Por qué no? ¿No?
Ahí ya.
¿Ahí? ¿Me escuchan?
Sí, te escuchamos.
Ah, vale. Bueno, comentaba que igual lo que podríamos hacer...
No se te escucha el audio.
Sí, la escuchamos.
Sí.
Pronto tienes problemas, Michael, con...
Sí, lamentablemente,
red.
pues yo voy a comunicarme con Bertila, me voy a desconectar un momento del panel mientras... Directamente con él. Continuamos.
No sé, ¿me escuchan ahora?
Dubán, yo le estoy escribiendo por el WhatsApp.
Claro.
¿Me escuchan?
Sí.
Doctor, we need to wait, I think. And before that, can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. I can hear you very clearly.
Go with the next one, and next of that, we will go back with you.
You just give me a shout out.
Okay. Entonces, ¿podemos seguir con Carlos? ¿Estás por aquí? Sí, ¿no?
Sí, buenos días para todos, para todas, ¿cómo están? ¿Me escuchan bien?
Sí.
Sí, pues estamos.
Perfecto, sí, vamos continuando. Entonces, yo me presento, Carlos Fernando Agudelo.
Carlos Fernando Agudelo. I'm talking about the mastery regarding the planning of the territory and also some plans regarding Universidad de La Salle. I just want to say hello from our dean, Mr. Murcia, from architecture, from urbanism and design, Carlos Hernandez. It's just a great pleasure being here with you, this forum from our lab, Territory and Landscape. It is the master's degree. We love this event, this type of activity that talk about a very important thing, peace environmental piece from these experiences we had in the community. We're talking about resilience from the Salle University, from our faculty. We've been working from things from the academia, reflection processes from different social actors, resilience, adapting to climate change, sustainability that is not only ideas and plans, but is something we have to plan from the territories. We are reflecting upon interdisciplinary things, governmental aspects to talk about some subjects and that have incidence in some processes, these thematic issues regarding informality and resilience from a very important net, also redneck and some other sustainable projects, and also the Raigo platform. We are going forward to, get the local labs, for resilience, about resilience. We understand these labs to have them as a very kind of livable organisms. We have research regarding problems, so that we can implement actions in the territory. To not extend myself, I want to share a video that shows everything regarding this experience. Local labs for resilience. That's very important for us. Thank you.
Sí, Sonia, muchas gracias.
I'm going to share the screen.
Mientras las entidades universitarias, ONGs,
Local universities, we want to bet on that. We got the territories there. Obviously, the people that live here, nothing happens to them. We do some state of the art regarding organizations that get together in this creek. So what do I think? What's my dream for the future? I hope that we do very well. Hope that it becomes greener. Well, we have to talk about some committees. 100 meters away, we have something going on. We have some plantations here, and this is where I spend my time. Well, thank you very much for the institution that have participated and enhanced this initiative. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, it was kind of far away. We have some other videos. I'm going to share that with you. We're going to share that, and I'm going to, end up my farewell. I want to thank the psychosocial government of the University of Manizales and its dean for, to get this organization and event done. I'm going to be here to share with you. I'm going to put, the link in the chat. It's a 5-minute video and explains that very, very well.
Continuamos entonces. Gracias.
I'm going to continue. Thank you, Carlos. We are going to the Psychosocial Observatory for the Risk Management. We have the person in charge right here. Yeah, hello, everyone. It's a pleasure being here. I salute you all. I'm very happy to know that this event is possible. Thank you very much, Duan. from all the support from the UK, Anabela. I'm Lina Andrea Zambrana. I'm the director from Psychosocial Observatory from Universidad de Manizales. We are commemorating the 1523 law. It's fantastic being here to share with you. Thanks very much because the psychosocial part from for the human being is very, very important in tough moments, in all the components that we can get there, participation, governance, institutional participation, private companies, public sector as well. We've been working in a very joint way. It's a pleasure being here. I hope we have a great event, and I salute you all. Thank you very much.
Profesora Lina, si te
Lina,
parece ya para pasar al segundo segmento de este panel.
Ms. Wagner, this is the second segment. Thank you very much for the observatory, Universidad de Manizales, and the possibilities that those possibilities mean in this subject. Well, William is not right here, Professor William. He's in charge to moderate the panel. So I beg you to be the person that moderates. Thank you. Thank you. I'm representing University of Manizales in this event, and I cannot be with you, but I'm connected. And if I can help you out, I'll be glad.
Claro, el profesor William de la Universidad de Manizales
William
tuvo un problema
had a problem, family problem. He cannot be here, Antonieta. If if you want to moderate, a couple of conversations that are coming along. Thank you. Well, this roundtable is part of the second segment that is focused on the communitarian experiences regarding environmental and peace conflict. It's divided into portions, into tables. The needs of the communitary conflicts in environmental processes, that's very specific. And the second table is communitarian strategies to solve those environmental problems. We are happy. We're going to start, and we're going to let people talk. Some actors that are part of this articulate issue. Jenny is just right here. She's connected. She's just right there. Thank you.
Pues es
Well,
forma parte de la corporación
she's
Arcoíris.
part of the Arcoiris Corporation from the local by Usme Bogota as well. Jenny.
Está en mute.
She's muted.
Luz Dari debe estar en la sala.
Luz Dari, is she here?
Pues no contamos con ella. Sigamos.
Vale. Entonces, Julián Figueroa.
Julián Figueroa,
Presidente de Acción Comunal. Laboratorio Local de Amapola.
President of Local Action, Amapola Lab in San Cristobal, Colombia. He's right here. He's there. Julián.
Hola, Julián.
Julián.
Okay.
Justo son las dos personas que no.
Okay.
Well,
Juan David.
Juan David, you there?
Comunativa. De las
David, from the urban potages in San Jose Manizales.
¿Está Juan David conectado?
Is the guy there? Is the guy does with vegetable plot?
Gendis Guzmán.
Gendis Guzmán, you there?
No, ella no se pudo conectar, pero estoy yo desde el proceso.
Y bueno,
I'm here to help you out.
de establecer cuáles son las
I
necesidades
want to establish the needs that you visualize from the communitarian process facing the environmental problems in School of Autonomies in Medellin. Obviously, I want to share a presentation right here.
no sé quién le pueda dar acceso, Dubán
The one, please.
o Sonia.
Está permitido.
Ah, está permitido, adelante.
Sí.
Venga.
Me cuentan si ven mi pantalla.
Please let me know if I can, if you can see me on the screen. Thank you.
Listo.
Listo. Entonces,
We're ready.
bueno, como les contaba,
Well, as I was telling you, Laderas Medellin, this is my project. It's a very well-known organization that links certain organizations. We work in the northeast area in the border between rural and urban spaces in Medellin. We have LADs and very big mountains. It's a higher risk problems. It's that we can solve or not, we can help out or not. This has generated these incidents problems we've had to get the process and the projects done. And we have fought to get all the things together in the neighborhoods in a very disarticulate way. And then from Laderas movement, from 2.5 years,
aquí podemos observar el mapa de Medellín en la parte izquierda.
we have got the thing in Medellin. We have divided that in the east and west, thanks to aqueduct. We have that, and it cuts the city off in two places. The border is just right there in the north. The Comuna 1, 2, and 8. We've been working with that regarding Faro Pacific. Those have settled themselves very well in a very soft way for displacement, home that is rented or not, and certain mobilities that have existed. We have articulated this organization, and we've got people that were trained. We have, in this movement, we have this school thing going on. The autonomy thing is a short version of this, as an historical version, because we have bet mainly for the incidents of the state policies. We have to intervene these territories. We have the conditions regarding the cleaning that has to be there. We have implemented that, the incidents there. We haven't been very successful with that, but we've got the presence there. So talking about territories, it hasn't been sufficient to implement the panorama we're going through now. COVID-19 panorama, for instance, we have thought about autonomies, but the needs, the territorial needs regarding inflation, climatic changes, political scenarios. So we think that there is a consolidation need for the autonomy so that we have a very good incidence in the governmental policies. popular school of autonomy is a very pedagogical strategy to contribute to the collective practices, to the autonomous dealing of the territories. So we have to deal with that in a good way with the territories, because the risk there is not to settle due to the natural disasters, macro projects, and intervention from the mayor's office. Among other risks, armed groups, the territory is just there, and the autonomies that have to be built up facing the panorama that's coming up, and the less little commitment from the mayor's office. Well, we have certain characteristics, architects, people that are not plugged, juridic corporation, liberty, uh, living table from Comuna 8, and the webnetter. It's another countercurrent thing. We've been dealing with processes in a very autonomous way, uh, gesture. We have spoken about territorial memory in politics in its incidence, public policy for integrated neighborhood. We have the territorial. We have articulated the Comuna 1, 3, and 8 to have certain incidents in the plan of ordering the territory and other groups. We have the intervention of high parts due to the thing that was doing there. We haven't done a lot of thing right there. We got great proposal, technical issues regarding the border that's urban and rural. With this scenario, the 2020 scenario, these proposals have gotten an echo in a very slow way. We got the need to organize the autonomy, all of the connections, alliances. We need to get this energetic autonomy, hydric, and linked to food. It's very important to understand this process. It's a school that strengthens the capacities, the communitarian capacities. That is fundamental. Without that, we're talking about organization, incidents, and also strengths, so that we can do small endeavors, plant food, get the prototypes to get water and electricity, not going very distantly, because from the organization we haven't gotten responses, although we have everything in place regarding the communitarian parts. Can we deal with these energetic and food supplies? Can we be independent? We have created 3 spaces, 3 schools places that have functioned through 2020, 2021. Energetic autonomy was thought to be in the Pacific neighborhood. In 2019, September, sorry, 2020, got a very important avenue that implied a lot of people out and the demolition of 3 houses. We have to deal with these local risks. I'm going to put that later. We got the presence of water. We got the prototype to this pelled wheel is going to be implemented. We have consolidated. The purpose is we need to have an ecological park in El Valle. That's one of the things. We got this autonomy, energetic autonomy, but we have to go in a certain way to the mountain. Food autonomy, the vegetable plot is just right there, but from Ladera's movement, we haven't gotten strong with that. We've had the plot, the vegetable plot there. We have worked microorganisms there, and we have done a good job in the soil because there's kind of dry. In hydric autonomy, it's going through consolidation. It's going to happen in El Faro. It's out of the urban perimeter regarding the national plan of urban plan. They don't have good water to drink. They have this community water is not good to drink, and we've gotten many problems regarding health risks regarding and the hose, and we have this handcraft done, so it's not very good. We have to get good water from the rain, and we have to get the tank into good condition so that people can drink very good water. There is the incidence and pressure so that we have good water. We have these three bets. We have sessions from Popular School of Autonomy. Climatic change was our main conversation point because this autonomy and these incidence processes have to be there, giving us light to confront how to mitigate and reverse this climate change problems that are seen in the areas that are really close of Dos Quebradas, some creeks, self-built houses. There's no canalization, that it was done properly. Climatic change is our main source of debate to be able to confront that and put it in the front of the debate. We have some images. We have everything in El Faro, Comuna 8, Camino de la Vida. This is macro project that we have to give great incidence. We are working there a lot. Food autonomy, we've got great encounters. We have gone through the neighborhood. We've had reforestation in the mountain, and how to get the soil back. That's very important. We have everything just right there. The lighthouse, we call it, Bello Oriente, the mountain that feels, is a community that dealing with the community. We've had problems regarding that, and the permanence of some people in the territory was very well established. I have to have public services. They do not get the same water, the same electricity than people from other parts. Energetic autonomy, we're talking about that. We've gone through campaigns that can feed the storage of energy that is going to be produced in some of a system of Peyton wheel that is a communitarian tank from the sector. We're going to have that. There's an image there. The creek we see, the Rafita that generates the torrential avenue that affected the big part of the community. We work at the Pacifico community. We have the process here, the production, distribution, storage of what we think is the pilot project for the prototype of the energetic autonomy, we've had sessions that are part of the contingency that was not good for on-site thing. Gustavo Wilches was very, very important to get the communitarian risks, and he's giving us light for autonomic strategies. In this popular school of autonomies, you have the torrential avenue. We have the risk management there and the module, and then we have to know what's happening in that avenue. This is the houses that are on top of the creek. So the thing was terrible, and we didn't have any file regarding the consolidation of the neighborhood. The disaster did take place. We had a process to manage and to get the attention, total attention for that neighborhood. That's why it was built, MAR, to get to solve problems. We have these incidence factors there and the dialogue regarding entities of the state to get the mitigation of risks, implementation of some work as well. So that people can live in the territory. And to finish, we have this design. We have to get the structure well for the houses. Besides the renovation of the territories, we have to live with the risks. We have to understand the climate change and the problems we have in the rural and urban parts, in the high parts of the region, and especially in the neighborhoods we work at. We have to understand how to live there in an autonomous way, living with the nature and with the risks.
Pues yo creo que ustedes tienen muy bien detectadas estas necesidades, ¿no? Y están ya tomando también acciones
We
específicas.
have had two specific actions.
Este espacio con Luz Dari, que también
Luz Dari is going to talk about that too.
Muchísimas gracias, Alejandra.
Alejandra, thank you very much.
A Luz Dari, que no sé
Luz Dari.
si ya se conectó.
Señora, estoy conectada, sino que es que tengo dificultades con el celular.
Sí se escucha, sí se escucha y bueno, no
Luz
sé.
Dari. Yeah, we kind of hear you.
Otra vez, pero si es con el celular, creo que sí escuchamos todos y todas, ¿no? No sé, si puedes hablar, Luz Dari.
We listening to you very well. Please get the video off.
Bueno, listo, muchas gracias. Buenos días para todos.
Yeah, hello.
Me llama mucho la atención estar participando con
It's
ustedes
very good to participate
en esta
with
reunión
all of you in this meeting,
y ver que hay
and then
varias gente que
to have
quiere mejorar
people that
lo que tiene que ver con los recorridos del agua,
help us with the water and the different spaces. We have difficulties because of the migration of people to different departments, regions of Colombia that come here to settle. So because of that, there's a lot of pollution, water pollution. So we have tried to our best as leaders to maintain the creek in a very clean conditions. But from the authorities, we haven't received support because there's a limit so that people don't settle, because then the dirty waters leave those layers and go to the creek. It's not the way used before. We don't find any fish here. There's a lot of pollution There's a lot of garbage there. The sewage water is terrible. There's this feeling of non-belonging because they come from many parts of the countries. They don't want to. They don't care about the space. So, as inhabitants, it's very tough for us to have this clean space. As a community, we have to work for the youngsters so that they are more conscientious about the spaces. We have to plant. We have to plant close to the creeks, careful with the trees. We have to go through this environmental thing and see how bad is water when it comes to the city. We we do some brigades to clean the creek. We talk about that with people. We share with people so that they understand why it's good to take care of the environment.
Buenísimo, pues yo creo que están muy claras también en ambas comunidades las
It's
necesidades.
kind of clear.
Creo que
We're talking about the needs.
y creo que está sucediendo también al mismo tiempo, ¿no?
It's happening.
Que sí existe, o sea, más allá de identificar cuáles son las
They
necesidades,
exist.
ya de las
We have to identify the needs.
comunidades están
Obviously,
empezando estas soluciones, ¿no?
the solutions are coming from the communities. The cross of experiences is taking place from one lab to the other. We have to visualize and strengthen the results.
Pues también podemos dar la palabra a esta otra parte en la mesa 2.
Then
A Miguel Zambrano, no sé si
we have
esté conectado por ahí
some things going on here. Miguel Zambrano, Escape Project, is he there? Yeah, I don't know if he's connected.
Miguel, no lo veo aquí.
Michael.
¿Nos podrías platicar de estas estrategias que ustedes también pues ya han estado trabajando?
We need some strategies
Aquí con la red
to implement the net agroecological brand called Manitas, and there's a local lab in the creek in Ciudad Bolívar. Michael, please. Hello, thank you.
Bueno, primero que todo, para los compañeros, muy buenas tardes.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing very well. I'm really, really happy to express that we are in trouble now. There's a scenario that is really relevant to conceive everything in a territorial, regional way. It's very, very important for me. How did I get experience with different activities that are artistic, environmental, and cultural? I've gotten to two different nets through organizations that are there. I had to articulate myself and go through a knowledge path the way we want. The Manitas cultural part. It's a very, very big and academical scenario. Agroecology is very, very important in our city. That's very, very important so that we can mix all this perspective in economic and political issues is very, very important because this agroecological thing was very important for roundtables. The planning secretary was there and we could consolidate plan of national ordering. We gave our technical advice, was not very academic, but it was very, very concrete, so that we consider that many of our ideas are synthesized in the territorial order planning. So it was kind of cross because of this mercantilistic neoliberal thing that they despise our needs. They got away the right we had in the city, the right to participate. We have to transcend this private property discussion, because the communitarian thing is going to be, it's kind of beautiful, so that the narrative of the institutions and people that work for the government, uh, we have to get very robust documents so that we can understand what they think about our work, communitarian work. I think it's got some bias in this analysis. We've seen this agroecological thing criticizing the botanic garden, Jardín Botánico. We have this cultural thing going on, and they have to be the cultural net there, so that we have to have very important actors, communitarian actors, in some institution that operate and implement methodologies in the territory. We believe that the lack of continuity regarding some processes, the support they give us is very little, and then we fragment the social fabric, and we do not have a good, strong identity in our region. From this diagnosis and the context that is kind of deep, regarding everything we're talking about, obviously the violence, the drug trafficking, study, that we don't have jobs, so there's a bomb coming up because people need a choice, need to make a choice. So the what we have here, the plan we have with the two nets that we expose in this net, this platform regarding the cultural issues, they want to harmonize how the urban thing was manifested, was kind of not legal, because that is causing us urban problems, the biological and ecosystemic problems we've had in the territory, because we operate in the Lima territory, Ciudad Bolívar, not only Ciudad Bolívar, is not only to localize, we replicate that in the territory, locally, regionally, internationally, but we have to say that through the expansion we have, the intransigence and negligence they have, we get then situations that are not easy to deal with, so that people that deal with the atmosphere help us to mediate the conception of our neighborhood. We have this hydric source. If they did the work properly, it would be very good for tourism, because we're damaging the creek. You see at Bolivar as well. It's great potential. We could drink that water, but obviously the whole thing is deteriorating, because we try to make the whole thing work with the communities, and obviously we can, but we believe that consolidate the interlocution tables is interinstitutional thing was very important to participate in participative tables are very important in the country, because we have some nets. have to understand that collectively, I'm talking about the needs that replicate and the opportunities we have now. The cultural thing, Coralimas, we have the getting back the flora and the fauna so that uh, we use this kind of native flora in the territory, and from that we deal with it, and we have to deal with food and its sovereignty. Ecology is very, very important because it gives, it articulates the study uh, to help the environment, and this scenario becomes socio-economic. So the cultural thing and its artistic manifestation is very, very important. We think that this artistic manifestation can be uh, linked to the themes and for the territorial identity. It guarantees our permanence. We give some empowerment so that we conceive the neighborhood in other ways, and they try to help with the social dynamics. The cultural corridor, it's got strategic lines. For instance, some pedagogy was done for free, and some others coming up. We can have this replica in some other territories because of the environmental thing regarding Bogota. So we can take good profit with tourism. We're talking about solidarity here, agroecological tourism, because this vegetable plot is helping us to consolidate this speech regarding foods sovereignty. It's got 1 kilometer. We have the we obviously have the vegetable plot. We have the worked with the perception of people, and we can work that in a very pedagogical way. We have then elements, intersubjectivity of the citizens as well, and some other things going on. And so for that, this cultural corridor is great to have some nets and organizations and some other actors regarding roundtables, for example. It's going to help us to legitimate the social movement in our organizational proposals in our territory. So
Buenísimo, Michael. Muchísimas gracias. Ahora
thank you
vamos a
very
dar
much.
la palabra a Bertilda. Está por aquí, Bertilda Salas, técnica de trabajo altos de la
Bertilda Salas, technician in Ciudad Bolívar, Farm Las Estancias. Bertilda, we're listening to you.
Muy bien, Michael. Sí, adelante.
¿Me escuchan?
Sí.
Are you listening to me? Yeah, hello.
Bertilda Salas, integrante de la mesa de
Bertilda Salas.
Alto de la Estancia.
We have that in Altos de la Estancia. I'm sorry. Well, there's a lot of noise here. I'm sorry for that. A lot of kids are coming through my office. We are part of the technical roundtable in Altos de la Estancia. It's an organization of organizations that it was founded in 97 so that we can solve some of the problems or problems we had in our community. I live in Altos de la Estancia, Bolivar City, Ciudad Bolívar, Bogota, Colombia. Altos de la Estancia was one of the territories regarding land gliding as well. It's the biggest in Latin America. We had this impact in our community. So from 97, we've organized this roundtable, Alto de la Estancia, so that some leaders have to unite some of the problems from the macro aspect to the micro to macro aspects as well. We have a very tough subject regarding environment and security. Those are tough issues. We've got some activities for protection of the environment. So from that decree 489 is a decree from Petro, Colombia Humana, Human Colombia. We got that decree looking for this mass remotion in these Altos de la Estancia, the abandonment of which we were victims. That decree obliged the entities that they should just take good care to this community. The territory in 2004 was destroyed in this mass remotion thing, and the leaders were there articulating with some entities. The round table thing in my place, there's a big advantage to articulate that with entities and with administration of Bogotá Humana. Under that decree, we got that solved. It's kind of it sheltered us, and the leaders articulated that decree with some entities here. The problems we have, the fact that they don't care from the government. We haven't had an entity. Obviously, this landsliding goes hand in hand with the abandonment we have for the environment thing. We have this example here. Diamantes Hills, those are places where we had mining, and the district hasn't, they have overlooked that they haven't finished with this mining thing, and this is very important for the landsliding thing. There's this big impact. Obviously, because of that, there's this response that that leads us to the problem, mass problem thing. We have articulated many activities for the protection. This vegetable plot, for instance, sensibilization of the communities, so that the way we protect the environment, we are very keen on electricity, saving electricity, water. We have to take good care of the environment. No papers, no paper bags. We have to be sensible with the community and also with the technical aspects. In Ciudad Bolívar, we have many organizations that get bets on the environment. We've had many battles. We've changed a resolution. This mining and exploitation in this the surroundings of Bogotá, Ciudad Bolívar. The companies, the mining companies are good to deal with the district and get the decree for them to exploit the mountain, and us through the fighting and the actions. I'm talking about certain things. Obviously, we go to the Secretary of Environment in mass. We go there and protest so that we got improvement of the situation after the decree of the mining exploitation. This is what we're doing for Ciudad Bolívar. I'm talking about the areas that are surround Bogota. We want them back. So Bogota Humana, Human Bogota, we fought with IBGEL. Duan back in the day worked in IBGEL, and we fought a lot so that this decree was got into action. So, and all along with those resolutions, and therefore they can diagnose this alto de la estancia, this mass remotion. What can we do? What can we not do regarding the lands? Those can be untouchable. These ecological activities like vegetable plot, landscape, and how to get the environment back. We got respect for that, and we want more respect. We want respect for those laws. That's the reason of us. The ideas come from this round table. We have articulated that with the district, and we have a social pact that was signed with the administration. This is where we focus on all of the problems in Ciudad Bolívar, Altos de la Estancia, Ciudad Bolívar, everything in the south, Bosa as well, Suacha, Ciudad Bolívar, till the rural areas. It's the south, it's the border basically. There is an agreement signed, social agreement with 22 organizations and the district administration. This is how to get the environment back, vegetable plots. We have to enrich the communities to protect the environment through workshops from the basic needs to the dirt waste, lack of schools, lack of kindergartens, all the problems we have in Ciudad Bolívar. This technical work was done, and the follow up is being done. We signed that the 31st July. In this year, the follow-up is going very well. I'm talking about activities long and short term. Everything was written there, and we have to make it happen. Activities regarding long term, that's another administration. We could sign the social agreement, and the administration is responsible for that. The administration, the current administration, or the one coming up, there's the need to get this social agreement done. It's very, very important. That's very recent. All of the work that's been done for 15 years, it has to be there for this social agreement. That's serious stuff. So that's the last thing done there. Thank you. Thank you very much. This segment that was developed through the experiences That's very, very important to visualize the needs and to complement what's happening in the region, obviously. Thank you very much for being part of the segment. Duan. Thank you very much, Duan, please.
Muchas gracias, Antonieta.
Yeah, thank you very much, Antonieta. Thanks very much, Aldinho, regarding the project in Altos de la Estancia. I'm talking about the project here. It's a peace process to get something back after a conflict. Yeah, I listen well now. I was saying that because of peasant community that is the daughter of the peace agreement that was done in Colombia, is here as an actor to participate in this dialogue, in this rural dialogue and urban dialogue as well. It's a great introduction. After talking about the conflict, to getting things back, it's very, very good to underline this. This is a very, very good moment. We should talk with the people from El Cesar. Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Ever Garcia. I'm the legal representative of peasants in Cesar, Colombia. This assembly has been struggling to get the territory back. We've been displaced due to the fights, internal fights in the mining sector. That was tough. The assembly, the peasant assembly, understands its process as a bet to get the identity back and the construction of a good living. Peasant identity was that was lost due to new generations. Those generations were born in cities where displaced people ended up. They ended up. We ended up in their poverty. A neighborhood there we never had uh, good water, and the thing was even more horrible. The sewerage was a disaster. I had to go to Barranquilla. I got there with nothing. It was obviously a high risk place. Obviously, people in Medellin, Bogota, we can all talk about that in Barranquilla too. We had to live there for many years. Our kids were born there. They they were born and raised there. Now we're back in my city because the tension, the steam is kind of lowered a little bit. It's not done, it's not over yet, but it's kind of less problematic. We got a very, very important need, and due to the fact that we love the territory, I wanted to go back to my territory. I mean, I love my land. This is where I was born. My roots. I have food here. Obviously, in the fields, in my field, I got a good life. Obviously, that's my point of view. We understand that that's is like a shell that lead us to live the life we had before. So recognizing that the good living was there, that's to start all over again, uh, to get the social fabric and to reconstruct a very dignifying life. This is about healing the wounds. The conflict is there, and obviously the wounds we've been fighting, and we need to get these wounds healed so that we do not remember these with pain. We have the need to go back to the territory from which we were displaced. We can, I mean, we found a territory in a very different way. Everything is damaged. We have, the residues from the minings, um, the high hills built by the mining companies. Before it was only valley, now we have terrible things, material, basically, that changes the atmosphere, the land, the landscape. So we have this pollution, obviously, that was left by the mining sector due to the economic model linked to the activism, like coal, for instance, the implementation of some other things. In the Cesar, in Becerril, that's in Cesar, a department in Colombia, the peasant assembly is trying to to let this thing not happen, so that it means uh, finishing off with water, sources of water. A lot of things are happening, and they are extinguishing many things, mountains, water, supplies, and everything is huge there. The the water that was underneath the land was even more profound. Now there's uh, mm, the water we had is no longer there. The flow of water is unexistent. Becerril has got kind of deviation of the rivers that before was a source of fish. We had fish uh, in the past, obviously now, and 20 years ago, those disappeared. And the flow of the rivers is kind of there remain, but the mines and the business there, they have deviated all the flow uh, to where it shouldn't be. Sorry, to get the free passage, to get the coal the way they want. They kind of do deviation, and then and the people from the department don't care because uh, the communities have said how the way they disagree, but it's useless. The Lupa people, they're semi nomads. They lived due to the recollection of fish they got from rivers, and obviously in Becerril they had they have lost people because the animals they lost to mining, they haven't been able to sustain the supply chain of theirs because they didn't have how to get the fish in a good way. That's the deterioration of the environment. It's obviously the transnational companies came here, they made money, and they just got away our resources. We do not longer have. That's the reason why. Uh, that's the reason why the peasants in Cesar were disposed of their land, displaced and massacred, so that the land would belong to the mining companies. We're fighting for that now to get everything clearly, to get everything in light. And also, we want to know who are benefiting of that. We need to know what happened so that we can be coherent with the situation. They're stigmatizing the guerrillas to get them out of the territory. So we have some communities. There are some assemblies from our communities in Cesar. They were created by people that needed land. And after some time, they could get the money back thanks to the Constitution, but they didn't get a lot of attention. They got a big group called the Peasant Assembly for the Good Living, and it's that belongs to many people. A lot of communities that were displaced due to violence. Many communities had to leave the country. Now they're coming back. Topacio, for instance, they got the restitution, to complete restitution, and the things that are coming up. That's time to get the programs that come with the land, and not only that, because we are surrounded by mines. Drummond is there, and also cattle owners that are there that were kind of touched with the violence issue, and obviously the communities they got the territory, they got the sentence, the trial, sorry, and they cannot get that because it's affected by the mining thing, and they obviously get all the problems. They get all the problems from there. The Platanal, everything they get is problems from the transnationals. They're trying to get there. They're exploding. They get the coal. They cannot. They cannot make the restitution there. We have said to the mining companies that there's a dialogue to establish everything. Dialogue that's obviously the thing we have to repair in certain communities, and obviously we have all the the traces of the mine, the prints, the fingerprints. We have all the dialogues on the table with Prodeco company. They know about us. They now go to La Guajira. 2017, 2018. So we can, that's very important. You have 2 minutes more. We have to repair some, these problems, the legalization of the mining zones as well. We haven't legalized everything. The need to get this how can we repair all this social tissue of Cesar and the risk factors. Obviously, we have threatenings there. We have everything regarding the right to be there. The problems we had linked to the environment. Obviously, we had problems, and all the food we had and sell in the past. We have we had some animals in problem in trouble there. We cannot sell food because of the pollution. So we haven't been able to repair anything. Okay.
Muchas gracias. No, muchas gracias a ti y por este testimonio. Yo les quiero invitar realmente a que hagamos el ejercicio.
With this testimony, we've had had these conflict scenarios and how they operate. I'm talking about the dynamics regarding this different scenarios and the parallels that we have. Everything that is just there in the territory and the demand of this community regarding the truth that's applicable in the urban context. And we are talking about the dynamics. We've had some time constraints. We have 50 minutes more.
Por ejemplo, la propuesta sería que para los ponentes del siguiente espacio nos redujiéramos de 10 minutos a 7 minutos. Y
now we have 15 minutes. We're going to 7 minutes. Thanks to the platform, we're going to have 10 minutes more.
Entonces le doy la palabra a nuestros analistas de temas transversales.
We're talking about the analysts, Angelica. We're talking about the peace policies in obviously in some territories. We have certain things coming up. We have a great response here in Holland, Pas Christi. We have been in the forum because to talk about peace, and when we talk about environment, we have to zoom that because the global warming is going up in the armed conflict. Ever in the peasant assembly, the relationship between city and the field, rural parts and urban parts are linked. So I want to think about that. I want to make you think. The armed conflict, this dynamic means the regions are being displayed, and then the peasants that come to feel the problems in the city. We've thought about that, and we have to activate certain citizenships, but the victims are here. We need to affect those areas, and we have more violence, obviously, in the cities, and that's linked to the environment because we have this chain of misery. They do not have the state guarantees so that they can have a decent life. From PACS, we have some certain communities there. We have to make the truth work very well. I'm talking about the dialogue. We have everything coming up. We have the relationship that is subject and subjectivities as well that arise, obviously. You have the presence in Meta. The population is obviously 1,195,000, so that in Valledupar we have 15% of the population. So the department is kind of rural. So we have to talk about certain general parts. 400,000 people are victims of the conflict, so that the population is the third of the Cesar is a victim of victimizing events. So in Valledupar, 14%, it's all over the population. What does that mean? Well, the process, urban processing of the city, that's an urban thing. The urban part is very, very big. We have many, many small cities. How can you think the people settle? Obviously, we have everything in trouble. We have the subject that's coming from the fields, and they get into the city, and its logical aspects. Number one, they are victimized, and all the wounds are there. We lose everything by its essence. Obviously, we're talking about obviously we have obviously we talk about rivers. We have all of the fields, all the weathers. We have mountainous chains. We have obviously ecosystems that are very, very important there. Obviously, we lose people. We lose the population here. The territory is lost by its subjectivities. And then we lose the things, the knowledge of the people. In consequence of that, we get the lands there, transnational parts. There's this vision of the territory that is there, that it was people lost the territory. We have the resources there. Cesar, it's the department that is mostly affected after Antioquia Bolivar, and the peasants have lost their lands. The restitution of lands that goes back to back with the agreements. That's also rural. We have lost obviously the land, and we obviously they want to keep the land because the conflict destroyed everything and the inhabitants and the way of living. We are risking that. We're talking about threatening, and obviously the conflict doesn't cease. It's just right there. We're talking about an armed conflict, interests. Obviously, we're talking about the mining, extensive cattle thing, illicit businesses. We've got great story about that. Cesar has got mobilization. It doesn't really matter the thing we have there, and then assembly is there. The organization of that is comes from the restitution of land, and it goes back to back. The fifth of the amendment of La Habana. I wanna talk about that. Las FARC and governmental state, we have to the justice process, transactional process. We have structural changes surrounding the state regarding demobilization, ex-fighters, how can they compensate the victims, the violation of the state and the HIV. So the peace process, it's accompanying the rural reform that is strengthening the participation of the victims, and obviously they give some information for the people that are building peace and the people that were thought lost on the participation of the ex-combats, and then we put them back in, breaking with the problematic cycles. We're talking about environmental peace. We are demanding more and more to conceive the migration, the fact of people leaving their lands, and the impacts we do have by the micro projects, so that we understand the armed conflict, so that we can give an honest answer in these transitional processes. So now we have some other things going on. Now we have to talk about subjectivities regarding the territory. We have to have other visions in the territory that are some kind of replicas to be in harmony with the nature. So we're talking about the sovereignty of the territory. The mandioca is no longer planted. The plátano en peraleja, that's a tree from El Cesar, so that we can understand how the thing is done. Obviously, we have a different scenario with something that is not probable and a local issue. We have to dialogue with some actors so that we can understand the dimension of what happened and the compromise of these actors to clarify the truth and the importance of knowing to restore and get things back to the nature and people, to compensate with the damage. We have to build peace. We have to understand that the rural and city relationship, that's obviously an inherent consequence of what happened in the fields. We understand how can we connect this interaction regarding things that were happening, regarding the clarification of the armed conflict, and above all, the protagonism that has to be given to victims that were affected by this cultural homogenization and that were forgiven regarding cultural dimensions. We have to widen this answer to environmental problems that take place in the cities. We have to inhabit. We have to inhabit the obviously the obviously we have to get the scope, because going back to the territory means that the way we live are going to be in harmony with the environment. Thank you very much. Alfredo Manrique, Ono Habitat, Colombia, to participate. Alfredo is part of the team of Ono Habitat. He's a very important person for the peace implementation in Colombia. He's gonna talk now. Thank you very much, Alfredo. Thank you. Hello for your, thanks very much for your patience. Thank you very much. I want to share with you some thoughts, and obviously things that are given and different thoughts by people. Environmental peace, that's something very important. We talk about environmental peace is because there's a war against the environment. This war is what makes to have the planet against the wall. The species, it's terrible, because life is another product in this anthropocentrism. It's everything is good as long as you make money. Human life is not important anymore. So in this context, that was brought to Colombia, this obviously this race for wealth, that comes to very few hands in a country where we do not have many opportunities. We have obviously a financial system that is in the hands of for families. Well, this concentration of wealth, some territories. We have some territories that are in the 21st century. Obviously, we have goods and services, water, everything. Some other people live in the same country the way they lived in the 18th century. They have latrines. They don't have proper floors in their houses. This is like a muddy surface. They have parasites. They have the problems they had in the 18th century. This inequity among regions is not only in the national country, it's also happening in the cities. We have segregation and many other forms of exclusion. The persistence of very poor neighborhoods. Obviously, neighborhoods that are created in a very spontaneous way. Life is very infamous. It's not dignified. They don't have services. They don't have water. They don't have electricity. No justice. We are in an environment of profound inequities, extreme poverty, opulence too. That's the problem of violence. The justice system is inexistent, is never there. Justice is for poor people only. So the law is made, so the trick is made. They make the privilege more privilege, and obviously we have violence, and we can get justice on our own hands. Inequity is the reason of violence, and the fact of making justice by our own hands in this context, we have to deal with some consequences. Obviously, in this surrounding is fundamental to correct this degradation, systemic degradation of Colombian institutions, where human life and other species life doesn't matter. We don't have any ethic regarding life in general and the surroundings that make life possible: water, air, food. Everything succumbs facing the voraciousness of wealth and power. Then the species are gone now in a magnificent biodiverse country. We have to think about that. We have to think that in United Nations, the only reason they exist, we have to change that and believe in that. We have to understand ACNUR is migration, the FAO is agriculture, the World Food Program is regarding food, said it's children and adolescents, and some other agent or agencies that work on women, gender equity and equality, some other agencies of United Nations that are here in Colombia. Why are we here? We have to build environmental peace. We have to go to the root of the country's problems. We have certain things we have to address. We have to deal with certain things. Territorial organization is not an expert thing. It's all about us, urban and rural, because we have the organization there, the space we are supposed to inhabit. We have to preserve the traditions, ecosystems. We have to get the profit, not only for wealth, not only for opulence, but is very good for for well living as well. We have to be well in a territory. You have to be very aware of the organization plans. Obviously, if we do not protect the environment and we construct things there, it's absurd. So obviously, they just manage the territory in a way to make people richer. So obviously, certain things are very complex, and certain things are linked to common sense. Then we have to participate. We have to participate academic things and universities are great, and then exchange of knowledge is great. And other very important things is urban relationships regarding field, city field. That's a double thing. There is something very unfair. Centralized country. What doesn't happen in Bogota is like doesn't happen. Bogota is an urban thing. You're not supposed to talk about USME, certain things regarding central thing, and obviously in the fields is like doesn't happen. What happens in the fields is like people that live outside of Bogota, they feel like they're aliens, the peasants. That kind of relationship, urban rural, is very, very important. Where does water come from? Food, clean water from the regions. Cities wouldn't be cities with those things happening. Cities are thought from the inside. A person from the government said that Bogota will be a first world city if it weren't in Colombia. How can you think that? This is so evident, friends, that in the peace agreement, city is not there. The word city is not there, or maybe once or twice. F5 in the computer, try to find city of La Habana, Dubai city, but the urban relationships are not there. It's so disappearing that that some other programs commit the same mistake. I'm talking about the plans. It's good to make roads, dirt roads. It's very good to give every school certain things. It's good to have good houses. In some territories are abandoned, but how are you going to sell the mango, corn, or rice in La Paz, El Cesar? You might do it in Santa Marta, Valledupar. The supply chain is just good to talk about intermediation. And the production we have in the fields has to be given to peasants. We've gotten dialogue strategies for people regarding agritourism, ecotourism, so that living in the fields is not synonym with lowliness. We have to have very, very good proposals to make people stay in the fields. Well, some people go to city and just kind of wander about, but now the fields are like filled with old people and the great daughters or that kind of thing. So thank you very much. Thanks very much for the agenda. We have to have a dialogue space. Obviously, Marta, it's kind of tough for you now, but we are ready to talk about that.
Marta es una persona que ha estado, digamos, acompañando la asistencia técnica en gestión de
Marta
riesgos.
is just right there for technical assistance. Marta has got great experience Marta, thank you very much.
Pues muchas gracias, Duan, y a todos los participantes de este encuentro. Pues escuchando todas las intervenciones desde esta mañana y un poco atendiendo esta
Thank you very much for being here. We're talking about peace in the city. Certain people that were speaking. We've got 10 years of the law 1523 of 2012. That's obviously risk management regarding disasters in Colombia. Well, how can we deal with this this policy as well? How did it help to reduce risk factors, disasters, the ones that deal with this risk management from this context, policy context, and a vision, national vision as well? Obviously, we had the first article is supposed to be there as a social process that's is sustainable development, security. Obviously, we think that this is very commendable, it's very ample, that are framed in the narrative of development, but when we see the context, this implementation context that is social, when we materialize this in politics, obviously we want to talk about risk. We see the same structure, the government goes in a vertical way, councils. This is how we have to deal with risk. We have the strategies there. We saw that this morning. We've seen obviously a focus problem. We want certain things happen. Alejandra, we are living with risk, and that perception and acceptance as human beings that inhabit a territory have to interact with some risks. This need, a reductionist needs to intervene the risk and control risk. Well, for me, it's the wanting of this policy contradicts itself and doesn't go to the inner purpose. And we have this risk conception so that we can limit certain things and control and solidify as well. Bertilda said we have declared ourselves as risk zones, but what's zonifying the risk? This is horrible risk. We have to intervene, and we get people out of their communities. We steal land. We generate some conflicts, determine who is at risk. How can tolerate that we forget these dynamics? And obviously, people that are in the territory and know things from the technical part, this interaction process can understand risk, and they can have certain initiatives, and they can get other risk management model not only reducing some processes that give us trouble, and obviously generate some risk factor things. From these perspectives, we can take that, we can measure risks, we talk about settling, evacuation. We're talking about force processes, displacement, and talking about that, we have to look the risk. Risk is building itself from a very social perspective and historic perspective. Is not only the photo and the map that says there's a risk condition. How do we build this risk condition so that they leave from they kind of leave off from this institutional aspect, and we know how to do things. So this debate that is opened up today make me think that this risk definition, we put some limits. There's the equation, there's the threatening, natural things, natural disasters, anthropic disasters, and law says that we cannot include the threatenings, anthropic. The conflict has to be there. The conflict, we've had armed conflict, dispossession, obviously this threatening cannot be considered as risk. It means that risk is a social construct that is linked with development factors, dispossession, with this vision, territorial control as well. So following this line of thought, we're talking about this equation regarding threatening, vulnerability, certain dispossession thing. We have to intervene the risk. This well-intentioned threatening, we fail in these models because risk factors is very much linked to peace, and for many people, for other perception, in some other thinking ways regarding indigenous communities, that precisely we've talked about that, this ethnic frame, the first hit, we have the first punch, we have in the indigenous would say that nature is not, doesn't threat. From the same conception, we are closing up, we are intervening in that way. We haven't understood that everything is very, very complex. The participation in these instances that were created from institutional parts have to be rigid. That shouldn't impede the participation of the community from other logics, the way we've seen in Altos de la Estancia, Medellín, Cesar, other ways of understanding. Yeah, we don't have time now. We have to broaden the horizon our thoughts regarding intervention from the institution, the system, policies that are in the countries to talk about, those things. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Two people want to speak. We have and some other person that wants to speak. Pedronel, please, can you let that person speak? Michael, please. Juan, to run things up, the mates have said something very important. If we talk about peace, we have to talk about the economic model here, and the political and economic relationships in this country. Our country in this country is taken in the international vision of work. There's structure of the primarization of the economy. Mining is very important for the economy because mining, it goes from Ciudad Bolívar or other countries. Some peace agreements did not think about that. And obviously, the peasants are dependent on the raw material. We don't have any seeds there. Okay.
Ha hecho, pues digamos que un análisis sobre estas prácticas de los campesinos. Es importante entender que los acuerdos de paz siguen con una lógica neoliberal y esto no va a permitir evidentemente un desarrollo y una industrialización pues decente del país y por consiguiente una urbanización y todo lo que de eso se deriva. Solo eso, gracias.
Gracias, Michael. Bueno, ¿hay alguien más que quiera agregar? Ya se nos agota el tiempo. Yo solo quiero decir que realmente esta conversación que tenemos aquí, hay muchos, entre varios de los participantes la hemos estado como redondeando desde diferentes aristas, y se trata de la relación realmente entre una serie de fenómenos sociales que ocurren en nuestro país y su expresión en el espacio, en escenarios de riesgo, que es algo que está totalmente por fuera, ya sabemos, de los modelos analíticos, y a partir de los cuales se toman las decisiones sobre este tipo de escenarios. Entonces, pues la conversación más que resuelta queda totalmente abierta, nos queda un poco como lección también de este trabajo, que necesitamos mucho más tiempo e incluso que necesitamos el espacio presencial realmente para que este ejercicio se pueda dar de una manera más espontánea, más orgánica, porque realmente las distancias son muy difíciles de acortar a pesar de la tecnología. Yo les agradezco en todo caso que con todos los inconvenientes ustedes se hayan persistido en línea. A las personas que han tenido que ausentar, obviamente también les agradezco su participación, y a la plataforma tecnológica Mundo TS3 por su apoyo en la traducción simultánea, y les deseo un feliz fin de día, y especialmente que quedemos en contacto y que continuemos, porque los temas pues son muy sensibles. Aquí los estamos conversando, digamos, de una manera reflexiva, pero esto tiene unas implicaciones materiales, obviamente, en cada uno de los territorios en donde las personas de la comunidad están aquí a través de esta ventana mostrando un drama muy complejo, y una herida abierta en las ciudades colombianas y en general en todo lo que tiene que ver con las consecuencias de los conflictos que sufrimos. Una sociedad en conflicto. No siendo más, gracias también, profesor Carlos Agudelo, Angélica, Alfredo, a ONU Habitat. Ojalá podamos continuar esta conversación. A Marta y a todos ustedes, las personas de la comunidad, pues cierro ya entonces de esta manera el espacio cerramos la grabación y muchas gracias por su presencia.
Muchas gracias a
Hasta la
todos.
Buena tarde.
Gracias a
Hasta
todos.
luego.
Buena tarde. Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
Gracias.
Gracias,
Michael.
compañeros.